That's not what I want there. Let's do deletion never. Disregard. Perfect. Let's go. Hey, Wade, what's up, man? What's up? So, my yard is looking pretty rough. I don't really know when you want to work on it, but I am probably going to be ready once school ends, which is going to be in May, the 1st of May. So I'll probably be ready to start working on my yard about mid-May. I got to do something about the weeds in my yard. Like, I don't have any grass, hardly. It's just weeds. So, that's what I was just talking about. Yeah, it's just mostly weeds in my yard. And there's no grass. So it's like when I don't really need to cut the grass yet because there's no grass. But there's weeds, so I have to cut the grass. So it makes it pretty difficult. What the heck, man? Are you kidding me? Leave the dandelions. I don't have dandelions. It's not dandelions. It looks like, I can't really describe what it looks like. The weeds are just, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's like a head of cabbage is what it looks like. Hey, Elaine from rainy, flooded Ohio. Oh, no. I hope that it did not hurt your house any or your property. We got some tornadoes here in Kentucky. Man, did we have some storms here the other day. It was... Well, that's good. I'm glad that your place didn't get it. But, you know, I still hate it for everybody else. It's kind of like the way it is here. We got flooded or we got these tornadoes, and I've been hearing about all this damage. And even though I wasn't affected by it, it still is, it sucks to look at all the pictures and videos of the places that were damaged. Wow. Well, I bet the kids like that, though. Anytime that I got sent home as a kid, I didn't care what happened. Do you remember, Elaine, during the September 11th ordeal after that, it was right after September 11th when they had those anthrax scares? And people were sending like anthrax through the mail. Well, at my school, somebody crushed up one of those Lifesaver White mints on the playground, and they canceled school because of the whole anthrax scare. I didn't know what anthrax was. I was just happy to be going home. Yeah, Wade, I will call you tonight. Hopefully I don't forget. It's been a day, I tell you. Yeah, that's the same thing was happening back home, Elaine. Like people were crushing up candy, throwing it everywhere, and they would just cancel school, cancel work. People have too much time on their hands. Hey, Suzanne, watching. Now, remind me, Suzanne, where are you watching from? All right, here we go.
You are listening to Radio X, WLXU, 93.9, LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you could stream the show live from the station website at radiolex.us. I am broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is April the 4th, 2024, 4:01 to be exact. And folks, we are just days away from this solar eclipse, and they are saying that the best place to see this solar eclipse in Kentucky is in Paducah. I never bought into the hype of the solar eclipse, probably because I don't really understand it. It says here that a solar eclipse occurs when the moon eclipses the sun. This means that the moon, as it orbits the earth, comes in between the sun and the earth, thereby blocking the sun and preventing any sunlight from reaching it. So if you want to see the eclipse, you can go to Paducah if you are in this area, and you should be able to see it the most. It says here that it will happen on April the 8th. It will be visiting North America, and the duration of totality will be up to 4 minutes and 27 seconds, and that's almost double the amount of time that the eclipse had back in 2017. The 2017 total solar eclipse was witnessed by about 20 million people from Oregon to South Carolina, and they're saying that this eclipse in 2024 will be seen by many, many more. So, folks, if you're excited about seeing the eclipse, that is happening on April the 8th. But a lot has been happening around North America, and one of those things is March Madness. The Final Four is this weekend. We have been doing a complete coverage of the March Madness series right here on Off the Cuff. I have, as I do every year, we have the March Madness series, which is a special put on by Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, and it airs on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. And last night, we did our Final Four show previewing the Final Four, and you can check that out in our archives. But folks, the next time that we talk about March Madness, the games will already be over. It will already be done, because this Saturday is the Final Four, and this coming Monday is the championship game. So March Madness, believe it or not, is coming to an end within this time next week. It won't even be here. So in light of off-the-cuff fashion, and I know how you guys love to learn and be educated on this show, I have some March Madness facts that I found pretty interesting that I want to share to the audience. First of all, it says here that $1.3 billion of annual revenue for the NCAA is what they get. And that was the number in 2023, and it increased 14% in 2024 so far. 17.3 billion corporate losses due to unproductive workers during March Madness. Yeah, nobody is watching or nobody is working during March Madness. Everybody is gathered around their TV, gathered around their phone, gathered around their laptop, not doing what you think they're doing at work. They're watching the games. It says here that the University of Kentucky has an estimated value of $334.2 million, which is the highest among all college basketball schools. And people wonder, who is the number one basketball program? It is Kentucky. So here are some interesting fun facts about March Madness. It says here that the first NCAA Division I's men's basketball tournament was played in 1939. It only had 8 games. Oregon was the first NCAA tournament champion, and they beat Ohio State for the championship. The NCAA tournament field grew to 16 teams in 1951, doubled to 32 in 1975, and expanded to its current size of 64 teams in 1985. The term March Madness was first used in reference to basketball by an Illinois high school official, Henry Porter, in 1939. March Madness wouldn't become associated with the NCAA tournament until Brent Musburger used it during coverage of the 1982 tournament. Another fun fact here about March Madness, it says here that the One Shining Moment, that song, you know, the anthem of March Madness, It says it was first aired following the NCAA men's basketball tournament in 1987. So longer than I've been alive. Believe it or not, the NIT, which was founded in 1938, was founded before the NCAA tournament. So everybody looks at the NIT like it's the secondary tournament, and it is. But it's kind of bizarre to think that the NIT has been around longer than the actual NCAA tournament. The NIT field is now usually made up of teams that miss the NCAA tournament, so it's not the big tournament that it used to be. Christian Laettner is the NCAA's tournament's all-time leading scorer with 407 points. Only 9 players have more than 300 points in March Madness. Notre Dame's Austin Carr is not among the 9, but he holds the NCAA tournament's single-game scoring record with 61 points in 1970 against Ohio. Loyola Marymount is part of the 3 highest scoring games in NCAA tournament history. The Lions' 149-115 win over Michigan in 1990 is the highest scoring game in March Madness. UCLA has the most championships with 11. And Duke's Mike Krzyzewski has the most NCAA tournament wins by a single coach, and that is 101. And that, folks, is some March Madness facts. I know that everybody still probably is a little bit out of shape over that Kentucky loss, losing in the first round. But hey, like they always say, there's next year. But for complete March Madness coverage, don't forget to check out our March Madness series in the archives. Folks, we got a big show here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Today, we have a special guest joining us at the 4:35 mark of the show. It will be the last segment of the show when we bring him on, and I am very excited to welcome hip-hop artist Tony Wavy, who recently received the Best Hip-Hop Artist Award at the Lexington Music Awards. He's going to be joining me with a one-on-one interview, and he may even do an in-studio live performance. But folks, all of that and more is coming your way right here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Peace and love. I am Divine Karama. This is Radio Lex, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington.
Radio Lex has the support of vinyl sponsor Holly Hughes. Thanks, Holly.
Have you been drinking? If so, you shouldn't be behind the wheel. Adults metabolize alcohol at a rate of 1 drink per hour. If you've been drinking, your judgment is impaired whether you realize it or not. Only time will sober you up. Cold showers and coffee don't do the trick. Every 2 minutes, a person is injured in a drunk driving crash. Drunk drivers account for 10% of all fatal crashes during the day and 30% of all fatal crashes at night. Hi, this is Doug Gleason with State Farm, reminding you to be a good
Chad,
driver to find a designated
I see you
driver.
on there, man, trolling my Facebook thread.
Radio Lex has the
Chad, I
support
got
of
you a great segment that you're going to really appreciate coming up right here.
Groovolution.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. This song that you're hearing right now was the theme song for many years for WWE SmackDown. The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson. Usually when I play wrestling music, I'm usually playing music from Monday Night Raw. But you can't forget SmackDown, which is particularly one of their biggest shows they've ever had. It's still their number 2 show. Raw is number 1, SmackDown is their number 2, but they used to have a great theme song. This Marilyn Manson song, it got me so hype for what was about to come on SmackDown when I heard it. Folks, also this weekend, besides the Final Four, WrestleMania 40 will be taking place. It is a 2-night event, and it starts on April the 6th and April the 7th. So WrestleMania is 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. The main event for that match is The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and who else does? Somebody else. All I know is that The Rock is back to his old heel ways. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. This is going to be one of those WrestleManias that I'll probably watch. I usually watch WrestleMania every year anyway, but this one is probably going to be one that I'm going to like. And folks, in light of WrestleMania happening this weekend, it is only appropriate for me here on Off the Cuff to once again have another wrestling topic. And I know folks at home are thinking, oh my gosh, here we go again. Well, yes, here we go again, because one of the most fascinating pieces of entertainment is happening this weekend. WrestleMania, my God, it is the biggest event in the industry of wrestling, and it is the 40th time they've done this. WrestleMania 40. And I started thinking about what kind of topic could I do to celebrate WrestleMania happening this weekend. So I started watching old WrestleManias. I have the WWE Network, and I started going through some of the old WrestleManias. And one of the things that I loved about all of the old WrestleManias is the backstage interviews they used to do with the wrestlers. And they still today do backstage interviews. But at WrestleMania, it was always so great to watch Mean Gene Okerlund stand backstage with his microphone and interview wrestlers. Now, keep in mind, a backstage interview is exactly that. It's backstage. It's a person holding a mic up to a wrestler, and the wrestler cuts a promo. So I started thinking, what are some great wrestling promos that happen backstage? So I have compiled a list here of some of the best backstage wrestling promos of all time. Now, they all say that talk is cheap. You've heard that before. But the real truth is that an unforgettable few minutes behind a microphone can change a superstar's career. And these particular clips that I'm going to play for you today of some of the best backstage wrestling promos of all time, I feel like really helped catapult these wrestlers' careers. So let's go back to the first one that I'm going to put on the list. Now, keep in mind, these are backstage promos. That means these happened backstage, and it happened from an interviewer giving them an interview backstage, and they just cut a promo. And it usually happens before the match or after the match is when the interview takes place. So the first backstage promo that I'm going to play for you of one of the best wrestling backstage promos of all time comes from 1996, and it is when Stone Cold Steve Austin won the King of the Ring for the very first time in 1996. Some say that this particular promo is what catapulted Austin's career. In this promo, he created two iconic phrases, Austin 316 and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Both of those quotes from Stone Cold happened in this very promo, the promo after King of the Ring 1996. So it's only fitting that this makes the list as my number one. So take a listen at this first backstage promo by Stone Cold Steve Austin when he is walking up after his victory of winning the King of the Ring, and he cuts this iconic Austin 316 promo, and at the end of it, he uses, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Two of his biggest sayings of all time come from the creation of this backstage promo right here. Take a listen.
You ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
Come on, that's not necessary.
All he's got to do is go buy him a cheap bottle of Thunderbird and try to dig back some of that courage he had in his prime. As the king of the ring, I'm serving notice to every one of the WWF superstars. I don't give a damn what they are. They're all on the list, and that's Stone Cold's list, and I'm fixing to start running through all of them. As far as this championship match is considered, son, I don't give a damn if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels. Steve Austin's time has come. And when I get the shot, you're looking at the next WWF champion, and that's the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, because Stone Cold said so. So there you go. That's how we're going to start off the list. And that, folks, I feel like is one of the best backstage promos that any wrestler has ever cut. Okay, next on my list, folks, is going to be none other than the great one, The Rock, who cut a backstage promo in March of 1999. Take a listen at how good The Rock's mic skills are on the microphone. Take a listen. I mean, you can't get no more electrifying than The Rock. And because he is The Rock, he's still as relevant today as he was 20 years ago. Such a great, iconic person behind the mic there. Okay, next on my list is one of the best backstage promos to ever be done. It comes from the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, in November of 1987. Ric Flair in this particular backstage promo is discussing his fortunate upbringing and credits it to being born with a golden spoon in his mouth. So it's this promo right here from Ric Flair that pretty much sums up Ric Flair in just one interview. His personality, his morals, his values. And I love it because Ric Flair is such a natural heel. People love to hate Ric Flair. And it's because of his cockiness. And it's because of interviews like this as to why Ric Flair got the name and the reputation he has today. Take a listen at this Ric Flair backstage promo. Yes. 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 And he continues on with some more nonsense, but it's promos like that. It's backstage promos like that as to why Ric Flair is the Nature Boy and one of the best to ever do it. Okay, coming up next on my list is one of the best backstage promos of all time. Comes from Jake the Snake Roberts from WrestleMania 6. This is April the 1st, 1990. And this is an interview that he has with Mean Gene Okerlund backstage before his match with Ted DiBiase. And everybody remembers the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He is the wrestler who used to come out and instead of wrestle, he would always want to just buy his way. He wanted to buy the championship. He wanted to buy his wins because he was a millionaire. And Ted DiBiase, he always said, everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. And he was facing Jake the Snake Roberts at WrestleMania. And this is the backstage promo that Jake the Snake Roberts cut on him. Take a listen.
But you see, Damien and I, don't forget, we remember all the times you made people relevant for your money. These were people far less fortunate than you. People who could use your money for essentials. You made fun of them. You humbled them, and you humiliated them. Well, now it's my turn. I'm going to make you beg, DiBiase. You were going to get down on your hands. This time, you'll be the one that's humbled. This time, you'll be the one that's humiliated. And this time, you'll be the one that grovels for the money.
I'm telling you, no cheap insults, no bathroom humor, just a gripping message delivered clearly and passionately and without a flaw. The psychology that Jake the Snake had in the business was the best. He understood the psychology. He understood his role. He understood how to get the crowd behind him. And that promo just proves of how good he was at those backstage promos. Okay, next on my list is one of the best wrestling backstage promos of all time. Comes from the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And this backstage promo is from May the 11th, 1987. And this was a promo that he cut on WWF Primetime when they had their show Primetime Wrestling. This is a interview he did with Mean Gene Okerlund. So take a listen at Macho Man and his backstage promo back in 1987.
WrestleMania 3 at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. It's a day that I'm certain my guest at this time will not forget. I'm talking about the former Intercontinental Champion of the world, Macho Man Randy. Nothing. Nothing means nothing. Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that? I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in. But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. Macho Madness, yes, got more to offer than President Jack Tunney thinks that I got. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you something right now. Cards stacked against the Macho Man Randy Savage in WrestleMania 3. Yeah, let me say it, yeah. Let me say it out loud. And let me point to the president of the World Wrestling Federation. The Macho Man Randy Savage is not happy with your decision, yeah. I am the cream in the World Wrestling Federation. And there is no doubt about it, yeah. You, Mean Gene Okerlund, you very seriously, do you blame Mr. Jack Tunney, the distinguished president of the World Wrestling Federation, for Ricky Steamboat being the Intercontinental Champion today?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Outside interference here.
What I love about Macho Man Randy Savage is he had these little coffee creamers that he was using as a visual aid during his promo. And only Macho Man could make that look cool. Nobody really had mic skills like the Macho Man Randy Savage. If I listened to Macho Man right before a job interview, I would get the job hands down. As a matter of fact, every time before I go live on the air, I just listen to Macho Man Randy Savage. And he gets me pumped up and excited. I feel like that I would be able to do anything once I listen to Macho Man or this next and final wrestler that I'm going to play on my list. And this is from, of course, the immortal Hulk Hogan when he cut a backstage promo in 1990 at WrestleMania 6. Take a listen at the Hulkster in his backstage promo. Yeah, I mean, if you're not ready to watch the match after that, then go ahead and turn the television off. And that, folks, is some of the, oh gosh, there's more that I had to play, but I can't get to them all. There are so many that I left off this list because of the sake of time, but those are the few of the wrestling promos that I felt like are some of the best backstage wrestling promos that ever existed. And keep in mind, a backstage promo is what the wrestler goes through during the interview before or after the match. So WrestleMania is this weekend, and it will be on the Peacock Network. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break. Stick with us. We will be right back.
You're listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Não passa esta temporada de festas doente. Mantenha seus amigos e familiares saudáveis tomando a vacina contra a gripe e vacina ou reforços contra a Covid. Lave as mãos, cubra a boca ao tossir e use máscara em ambientes com aglomerações. Se estiver doente ou com febre, fique em casa. Não dê um presente que ninguém quer receber. Descubra onde você pode tomar a vacina contra a gripe ou a vacina contra a Covid em vacinas.gov ou ligue para 1-800-232-0233.
Hey, This is Dale Morgan, host of Conversations Around the Table. Have a seat at the table with us every Thursday night at 6 p.m. as we get comfortable, sip on some coffee, and converse about our world and our community. That's every Thursday night at 6 p.m. right here on Radio Lex, 93.9 LPFM, the voice of the people.
Hii majira ya baridi ni vizuri wewe ndugu na familia yako kujilinda kwa kupata chanjo ya korona na mafua. Kwa mengi, tembelea tovuti refchd.org. Tujitahidi wote tupate chanjo.
Radio Lex has the support of vinyl sponsor Gloria Hansen. Thanks, Gloria.
Yeah, thinking that it happened overnight.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. This week, our quote of the week comes from Jack Kerouac, and Jack Kerouac was an American novelist and poet who was a pioneer of the Beat generation, and he said this: "When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen." You folks have control over how the destiny of your life goes. You are the author of your book. There are 365 pages every year that you get to write. January 1st of each year is page 1 of that chapter. Page 365 is December 31st of that year. You are the one that can write your own book. You have the ability. Don't let anybody else hold the pen to write your story. Don't just do what other people tell you to do. Don't just go out and work a job that somebody else tells you to do, or do a podcast that somebody tells you to do, or whatever it may be. Do what you want to do. Nobody lives your life, and nobody has to look at yourself in the mirror every morning except you. So don't do things to make other people happy for just 5 minutes, because they're not going to think about it anymore. How sad would it be to get to the end of your journey here in life and realize that half of your life you never even held the pen to write your own story? You let everybody else do it for you. You let your mom, you let your dad, you let your boss, you let your girlfriend, you let your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, your friends. Don't let anybody else hold the pen when you are writing the story of your life. Make it the best story that you possibly can, and you have the power to do it because you are the one that holds the pen. And that, folks, is Off the Cuff's quote of the week. And in light of our special guest interview this afternoon on the program, I'm going to be cutting this segment short. And when we come back, we will be joined by Tony Wavy, folks. So stick with us. We will be right back.
Use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets
Gosh,
you know
I need a
no matter
haircut
what happens,
in the worst way.
You will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible.
Oh, you come on in, bro. Come on in.
Brought to you by National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Let's go places safely, Lexington. Hi, I'm Nikki from Toyota, reminding you to travel safely and share the road. In Kentucky, it's not uncommon to encounter farm equipment on the road. Patience is the rule when sharing the road with farm equipment. Keep your distance and don't tailgate. The farmer won't be speeding up. Make sure the farmer can see you in rearview mirrors. Loud machinery may prevent hearing your vehicle approach. Use extreme caution.
Yeah, come on in, man, and get set up. I was actually getting ready to do your intro right here.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, you don't even worry. Let me do my thing here and get set up.
Be patient and slow down.
That works out perfect.
Yeah, dude.
How you doing, brother?
Good, bro. Good to see you, man.
Same.
Can make our
I've been
road
waiting for
safer
this.
for
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm nice, you just ain't notice me. I leave your ear burning to the 3rd degree. They see my flying, then they know it's me.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour. Folks, this week in the studio, we have a special guest, Tony Wavy. He is also known as the HipHop Picasso. He is a young up-and-coming hip-hop vocalist and painter. Now, at a young age, he knew he was meant to be a star. Since he could remember, he was always drawing, but as a young church boy, he always found himself infatuated with music. From his parents being ministers to his aunties and uncles, cousins, and even his grandparents being heavily involved in church, and he was always around music because of that. Almost everyone in his family is musically inclined, from singing to percussion to piano, and so on and so on and so on. But one uncle always seemed to catch his ear from his smooth Detroit soul captivating his young nephew with legendary producer J Dilla. Man, my pronunciation is always the worst. But, folks, this guy, I'm telling you what, I couldn't wait to have him on the show. And I am going to play one of his songs. And his song is going to be our song of the week. And I feel like that this song is going to just pretty much show you the talent of Tony. And I can't wait to not only just talk to him, but let you hear some of his music. So let's go ahead and take Off the Cuff's Song of the Week break. And the song that we are going to be playing is Guns Down by Tony Wavy. So folks, sit back, relax, enjoy the music. And when we come back, we're going to have in studio for a one-on-one interview, Tony Wavy. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Yes.
We just getting started, brother.
What's up, man?
Let me come around. Oh, bless. Man, you've been on the run, ain't you? Been to radio to shut radio.
Man, listen.
You've been on every radio show, man.
Man.
Okay, Adam doing it big.
Man, I'm just it's been a crazy week, like, what up to all the Tony Wavy followers. This man right here, making waves. Dude, Tony, you're a whole vibe, dude.
Thank you.
You're a whole vibe.
You a whole vibe. Come on.
You're a whole vibe.
Bro.
Dude,
I appreciate it, man.
You are a whole vibe, dude. So, like, basically, what I want to do is just kind of talk about your career, talk about your art, talk about, like, anything that you want to promote. So, like, I have, like, some notes on the things that you sent me.
Yeah.
So, if you catch me, like, not talking about it, just be like, shout it out.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to get everything that you want to talk about in there.
Okay. Yeah, I've got some events, so we could just, talk about it. But I ain't got too much going on, brother. I ain't got too much going on.
No, shoot, I ain't got too much going on. You always got. Hey, wasn't you on the radio today?
Yeah, I was over. We was shooting for WKY radio, so we got our man Wavy podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do need to plug that. That you reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a podcast and radio show with NPR and WKY. Me and D-Mad.
Yeah.
And we on episode 3. That's about to drop soon. So
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
So I met your co-host the other day. His name escapes me.
D-Mad?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes, he was awesome, dude.
He's here today.
Oh,
He's here
nice.
today.
Oh.
He's talking with Renee.
Oh, really? Is he like next door?
No, he's they over at Northside Bar right now.
Oh, nice. Renee said she might stop by, so I don't know if she's going to just wait over there and hang out or just come in.
She said she was going to come take a few photos. I don't know the capacity of how what she's doing. I don't know.
Yes. Dude, this is a good song right here.
Thank you, brother.
It's just so hard to pick, like, what song to feature.
Yeah, same. I mean, I understand, like, just choosing songs in itself.
So I just, like...
Yeah, I appreciate
they're
it.
all good, man. Just, like, pick one, go with it.
I must say, that's the perfect one. That's the single, like, I really want to push that message right now and let the people, like, feel it. Because it just went up another K on YouTube and stuff on our video, so it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yes. Yes. Well, did you have fun at the Lexi's, man? Was that a good time?
Yeah, it was a vibe. I was trying to hit the after party. I forgot where I had went, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to go. And it's only 10 o'clock, and everybody's gone.
Yeah. Well, I actually did not go to the after party. I thought I was going to go, but I ended up just not
I was
going.
about to go. I had went somewhere. I can't remember where the heck I went.
Yeah.
I went out to eat with my wife. That's what I did.
Okay. Well, I mean, got to do that sometimes, man. I think that the after party was at like this beer distillery, so I don't know if they had food. So good choice if you were hungry.
Yeah, it was cool, but no, it was definitely a good experience. You know, for me personally. It's beautiful to be recognized.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. All right. Do you have somebody on this song with you?
So, Gosh, Josh, and Divine Karama.
Okay. Yes. Dude, I need a haircut so bad. Like, just ignore the hair, man. It's crazy.
Too bad. I mean, bro, you're a white dude. I can't tell what look good or what not. You know what I'm saying? If I seen the brother, I could tell when his line off.
I was talking to one of my friends who's black, and he was like, I was like, I need a haircut. And he was like, I'll get my haircut once a week. And I was like, why hair's a little different? I was like, because I was like, really? Our hair just looks so freaking nuts all the time. It's like people can't tell when it's good, bad, whatever.
I don't know. No, it's man, you could tell like when somebody's just like all over the place. Now my hair, like I can't even show you that.
Let's see it. No. Is it a fro?
No, I got braids in. If I had a fro, it wouldn't be able to sit down. Can't even show you.
That's great. All right. So let's go ahead, man. Let's get it rolling. So you were on microphone 2.
Mic 2.
All right. Yes. A whole vibe. I told you, folks. He is a whole vibe. Well, folks, in the studio, I have with me none other right now, Tony Wavy. Tony, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Adam. Thanks. That's a nice name. You got like a millionaire name.
Well, thank you very much.
It sounds like a famous news reporter, like, or something. It just sounds good.
So let me ask you, you've got a cool name, Tony Wavy. Now, is that your stage name or is that your real?
So my real nickname is Tony. So everybody already calls me Tony. And then I got the waves because back in the day I was wavy, at the wavy hair and whatnot. So I'm like, man, it just makes sense, Tony Wavy. And then it ended up sticking because it started off as an Instagram name. And then, I just kind of stuck with it and everybody just started calling me Tony Wavy. And, it's been that from there. But it has a double meaning behind it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not only just am I a wavy person, I got wavy flows, I'm a wavy vibe. So, we keep it wavy over here.
Yeah.
Surfers.
I'm telling you, man, like, and sometimes only your stage name, it means a lot, and that's usually how you're identified as your stage name going forward. So I love the fact that you just kind of kept it, and every stage name has a story, so it's interesting that it started from just an Instagram name.
Yeah, and just my hair.
Yeah,
just I had wavy hair. I had to, I had the waves in, kept the do-rag on,
Yeah, well, Tony, I've said this before to you many times off the air. You are a whole vibe. The way you perform, the way you control your audience, it is, there's a lot of great artists in Lexington, but the way you have that crowd control, it's the best in town.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, you won recently the Lexi Award for Hip Hop Artist of the Year. Talk about what that award meant to you, finally getting recognized right here in Lexington.
Man, it's crazy to come from a place where, I was basically raised at and learned how to drive, and I was putting in so much work, but it didn't seem like it was, I feel like I wasn't seeing the fruit like how I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting the same work in as I was there in North Carolina to now being here and Kentucky, and it's been nothing but love. Like, so just to be recognized by people and they to know my name, and when I go around, people, they know the songs, they know the words, and just to be recognized for that at one of the highest stages out here, it's beautiful. And especially it's really, I've only been here almost 2 years, not even a full 2 years. So just in that year span, it's been love. And, I'm super grateful for everybody that's continually supported me, because it means so much to me, because people didn't want to listen to my music at first. It means so much to me because I was scared to share what I had, But now being confident in who I am and what I do, you know, is something that God blessed me with. So I'm super grateful, man.
You're not from Lexington.
Mm-mm.
How long have you been here?
About almost 2 years.
Okay, so what's it like for you being a part of the hip-hop scene in Lexington?
Okay, so the hip-hop scene in Lexington, it's a lot of love, but it be the drama sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you right now, there's a little drama going on Facebook in the hip-hop community now. But, you know, other than that, like, when people, like, really stick together, when they really show each other love, it just hits different. Like, you got guys like Divine Karama, who's been putting on for the community and showing me as an independent artist that you don't have to be, like, you know, in these major label situations to make an income as a rapper or make an impact as a rapper, because he's making an impact without the major label push, who's been working with other people. And then you got guys like even my brother Bryce, you know, I met him through the hip hop community, even though he's a painter, well, not a painter, but a visual artist. So like illustrations and all those things and graphics. But I met him in that space, and just to meet like-minded people, and then even understanding that in the hip hop community here, everybody's pretty close knit, like everything's close to home. So everybody knows everybody, but when they see you, it's love, and, you know, we want to continue to push that culture forward, and, you know, I think everybody's just trying to make their way up right now.
You know, you've made such an impact in Lexington, not only in the music scene, but also you're an artist.
Yeah.
You know, you're also known not only as Tony Wavy, but the HipHop Picasso.
Yeah.
So tell us about your artwork, Tony. Like, how long have you been doing it? What type of art is it that you are doing? Is it painting? Is it drawing? What is it?
So it's painting and drawing. I do portraits, graphic designs, murals, logos. I paint on clothes. So, you know, all those things work together, and, you know, in concert, like Renee would say, working in concert.
Right.
You know, early on, it started as a kid where I was just infatuated with drawing on every single thing that I could find. And then I had an uncle. Well, I still have him, you know what I'm saying, to this day. That's what we talked about in my bio a little bit. You know, he influenced me musically. And he also influenced me artistically-wise, because we just be watching superheroes, animes, and wrestling. I love the muscles. I love Spider-Man. And I come back drawing, and, you know, I come back just to show it to him, like, oh, what, you know what I'm saying, you like this picture? Because he's like my second dad, really. So, like, that was, like, a super, super inspirational person for me in my life when it comes to, like, you know, just doing music and arts and even being involved with the kids and even fashion too. He was like the dress too. So I picked up a lot of that from him. But, you know, when it comes to art, I really just create my life just how I do. Like when I rap, it's all my life. And as I'm painting now, I'm working on a series with my kids and really just trying to express these feelings of having a childlike wonder. And, you know, whether that be a somber feeling or, you know, just bring that nostalgia back, you know, in a child's place and giving something that people can resonate with, it being a child and that understanding. So that's kind of where I've been at right now. And I do a lot of realism, portraiture. So, like, you can see my portraits. I usually do pretty realistic portraits and, you know, just working, man.
When did you realize you could paint? Because, you know, when you're a little kid, you're drawing or you're painting. When did you realize that you were good at it?
Well, I always realized I was good. Like,
you
early,
knew?
Like, yeah.
I used to think I was good, but like at my little square house.
I was drawing full. I got pictures somewhere. I got full comic book pages of things I was drawing. But it was like I really discovered painting during my high school time. So during my high school, 9th through 12th grade, I had an amazing teacher who taught me so much. That's when I discovered so many different styles of art, from putting together, collages, trying oil paints, acrylic paints, India ink, charcoal, trying all. So I got a chance to dibble and dabble in a little bit of everything. So around, like, I wasn't a fan of it. I thought I just like black and white because I was comic books. I'm like, I just like black and white. I don't even care for the color. And then, you know, she got me into that, and it was around the time I'm hitting college and going out and about. And then I didn't even finish college. I was just drawing, doing a whole lot of drawing, and I started dabbling more in painting. I didn't even realize I could paint faces till around quarantine, really. So I'm talking 4 years ago.
The time when there was no faces being seen.
There were no faces being seen, and, you know, I got let go from my job, and I started, like, you know, I was like, man, let me just go fully into my art, because I've always done it. Like, I've been trying to do it as a business.
That was a blessing, wasn't it, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because my friend hit me, he's like, man, can you paint Malcolm? Can you paint, he had like 4 different painters he wanted: Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, and somebody else, Jackie Robinson. He's like, can you paint these? I'm like, yeah. And I charged him like $40 a piece. They were nice sizes and everything. I was like, wow, I can actually paint a face.
Yeah.
And then I just kept going, and I started to realize, oh, I'm good at painting faces. Let me do this more.
Do you take pictures of all the paintings that you give away, or is there just some paintings floating around out there that you'll never see again?
I have paintings of all my paintings, literally. So, like, since the beginning, like, you know, I come up in a content generation. So, for me to, like, really push how I wanted to, especially as an artist, I had to put out content. So, art content. As soon as I, like, during the quarantine, I'm like, if I'm going to take it serious, I got to post. I got to let people know, like, what I do so I can actually get the opportunity to do art for them, you know?
You also, Tony, have a clothing line. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. It's called Talk Love. Renee is sporting the hat right over here. You're sporting the hat. You got it on.
I keep it on me.
You keep it on. It's a cool logo. I'm assuming you created that logo.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Your artistic self.
Yeah.
Talk about your clothing line, man.
So, Talk Love, I actually created Talk Love when I was around 18 years old, coming out of high school.
18, folks. 18.
I was trying to figure out, like, what do I want to do in life? What is my purpose? Like, I was big on that early on, as soon as I'm coming out of school, and I'm like, I'm trying to fill this void. I got crazy girlfriend, you know. I'm making music. I'm doing all that.
All right, we got to talk more about that. No, I'm kidding.
I'm married now, you know what I'm saying?
Right
after. But, you know, I was just continually pushing this. I was going through these things and trying to fill this gap, and I realized the gap that I'm trying to fill with is love. Love conquers all. God is love. And, you know, I created this logo. At first, it started off as, like, you know, just talks with other young people that were going through things or was just in a situation where they're trying to find themselves. And it started off as literally Talk Love. We were just talking, just had a conversation. Then I made the logo. Then I started putting it in shirts. Then my wife finally found some embroidered patches. And, you know, as I began to go into, so I stopped doing the talks around like 2019 or so. I can't remember. I just stopped doing the talks because I couldn't find a space. And I don't know, I just wasn't in that space anymore. Then I, you know, really started getting into my music artistry. And as I began to get in my music artistry, trying to find myself as Tony Wavy, like the Tony Wavy, the rapper. And I'm like, what should I wear? Like, what's the clothes that I want to wear? And I'm like, I want to wear my stuff. So I just started patching and putting Talk Love on everything, painting on everything, and it really just became my persona. And it was already me because I've been wearing glasses in school and jackets, painted jackets since I was, and you know, since I started school, really, you know, so I was always kind of into that. So
when's the pop-up shop coming? Because you have to open, or just a permanent store of some kind. You need to open something where people can have better access to your clothes, man, because they're so rad.
Yeah.
They are.
You're right about it. We're working on a Mad Wavy pop-up, actually. I know Great Line has some pop-ups coming up I need to tap into. But, you know, if you want to come to the store, just come to the Mad Wavy studio at Loudon House. Come to Lexington Art League, Loudon House on Castlewood. I have some clothes out and ready for you, some hats, and you check out the studio space. Plus, you could buy some dope merch. So why not do, you know, come through.
There's so much that you have going on. You're also the host of your very own podcast. Talk about it.
Okay, so the Mad Wavy podcast is